Hey guys, so you guys know that for a while I've been saying that I feel like Colourpop and Morphe, they're on the same kind of page in regards to price. Well, actually, recently as I've been having a look at Morphe, I feel like Morphe are slowly putting their prices up, and they've probably been doing that for a while, but they're generally in the same kind of range when it comes to pricing. But I've also found that the quality of Colourpop versus the quality of Morphe is quite different to one another. And I've been saying for the longest while that I feel like the hype that Morphe has, I feel that Colourpop should have it. Colourpop does have its own hype to a degree, but I guess the way that Morphe markets their stuff and the way that they use influencers to market their products makes Morphe have that kind of hype. But I feel like Colourpop should have had, like Colourpop deserved to have that kind of hype that Morphe has. So I wanted to kind of do like a Morphe versus Colourpop kind of situation. Now I do also have the Jaclyn Hill Vault collection. I don't know if that formula is the regular formula. I know it's supposed to be the same formula as the Jaclyn Hill palette, but I don't know if it's supposed to be the regular formula. But the palette that I have here, which is the 15N palette, this one is like the regular formula. So I've got the Colourpop Disney It's a Princess Thing palette, and we are going to be having a look at the differences between this and the Morphe 15N palette. Okay, so first of all, these palettes are not 100% similar, that they're not 100% a dupe of one another, but they are similar as in they do have a few shades which are close to one another. So we're gonna have a look at, first of all, the size of the pans. Now you can see here that the Morphe palette, those pan sizes are a lot bigger in comparison to the Colourpop, pans. So I guess Morphe gets a win on that one. Now I'm not too sure if Morphe always has the exact same size pans, and I'm not too sure if Colourpop always has the exact same size pans. Maybe they have bigger pans, I'm not too sure, because this is the only Colourpop palette that I own. But just looking at these two, I feel like obviously Morphe will get the point because their pans are bigger, which means that they have a lot more product in them. Okay, so secondly, this palette here does have a mirror, and I know that a lot of their previous palettes do not have a mirror. Like this palette here does not have a mirror either. So I guess for people who like to have mirrors on their palettes, probably getting a Morphe palette will be a good idea. I know there are a couple of Morphe palettes that do have mirrors, but this particular one doesn't. Now me personally, I don't really care about whether or not a palette has a mirror, but it is handy if it does have one. But to me, it's just not like a deal breaker if it doesn't have one. Something else which was the most important thing that I found was the quality of the shadows. They are very, very different. It's almost like night and day. Now, two shadows that look very, very similar to one another straight off the bat is this color here, which is called Magic Carpet, and this color here, which is called Excuse Me. Now they're not 100% the same, but they are quite similar. So I do want to swatch. So this one is the Morphe and this one is the Colourpop. Okay, I feel that it's fair to say that the Colourpop one, it felt a lot softer. This one wasn't feeling like it's overly hard or chalky or anything like that, but just that the Colourpop one was just a little bit softer. The finger swatches, the Morphe one does look a little bit darker than the Colourpop one, but they're not 100% the exact same. And even in the pans, the Morphe one is a little bit deeper than the Colourpop one anyway, but it's just, I've got to be fair. So this is the Morphe and this is the Colourpop, and I kind of, oh, I got a little bit over there, and I kind of feel like it's fair to say that yes, the Morphe one is a lot deeper, but I feel like the Colourpop one has a little bit more pigment and even as I swiped, it's like the swipe went for longer, even though I managed to get a little bit over here as well. So there is that. Yes, there is a bit of kickback. As you can see, there is a little bit of kickback there. Like I can rub it in. So that's that. Another two shades which seem similar are Abu and Shook. This one's probably a little bit darker than this one, but they're still similar. They're both matte browns. Now this one feels a little bit hard and Shook feels a lot softer, but there's quite a bit of kickback there. So this one is the Colourpop and this one is the Morphe. And again, it just seems like the Colourpop one, yes, it does have some kickback, so does the Morphe one, but again, it just seems like that one has just a little bit more pigment and they're not 100% the exact same. Oh, and I can see it's a little bit patchy there on the corner where it caught my wrist bone. And two more that I can see which seem to be quite similar is Ray and Unique. So this is the Colourpop, like a champagne-y kind of gold. And that's the Morphe. Okay, so the Morphe one seems to be a little bit more on the gold side, and this one seems to be like a little bit more reflective. Oh, and the Morphe one seemed to be a little bit softer this time around. So we've got Morphe. And then we've got Colourpop. Okay, like that is a no-brainer. The Colourpop one is so much better. So much. Like I'm even gonna go in again with the Morphe one. And it's still like, it's not there. Like that Colourpop one is. So these are all three of the swatches of the very, very similar colors. And even though there are slight differences, I just kind of feel like the Colourpop ones won, but they're not too far off from one another in regards to quality. Like there is a little bit of kickback, there is a little bit of patchiness with both brands, but I feel like when I was using both palettes, the Colourpop one was just blending so well and I didn't have the exact same effect in regards to the Morphe one. So I do have videos up of me using both the Colourpop palette and the Morphe palette, and I also have my videos of me using the Vault palettes by Jaclyn Hill and Morphe. Overall, so I'm gonna leave those linked down below. Overall, I do feel like Colourpop is the better brand because I just feel like the way that they perform on the lids is just so much better than Morphe. Recently, Morphe have revealed that they are doing a collection with James Charles. The palette looks really, really nice, but it's £39. That's in sterling. Okay, that is a lot of money for one palette by Morphe. Like that is, I think it's absurd for one palette, £39. I don't know where they got that price from. I understand that they have to pay James. I understand that they have to pay for marketing and PR and but I feel like this price is absolutely absurd. So even though I was kind of like on the fence, like, should I get it? As soon as I saw that price, I was like, oh, hell no. For one palette, that is crazy. You let me know down below whether or not you think I should get it. But I'm just kind of feeling like, no. Again, I feel like Colourpop is the better brand, but I know that they bring out stuff like they're churning out things like nobody's business. But anyway, you let me know down below how you feel about Colourpop versus Morphe. What brand do you think is better, if any? Do you like them both? Do you hate them both? Do you think one is better than the other? Let me know what your thoughts and feelings are down below, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.